Well, this is kind of the last way that I wanted to come to you all, and a completely unforeseen, once in an absolutely generation, maybe even more, maybe like once every 100 years. The last time we had something like this was the Spanish flu, and I think that was 1918, so just about 100, or just over 100 years since the last time we had an event like this. I'm not going to say the name. I've been hearing that some people have been demonetized, or at least their videos have been demonetized for mentioning this. So I'm not going to say what it is, but you know what it is. You know, I had some videos ready to go, but before I release any of those, I needed to address what's going on, because this is something that is affecting every single person that's watching this video. Now, before I get started, I would just want to say I'm in day 4 of basically quarantine or shelter in place. The official order from our county, the shelter in place, and it didn't go into effect until yesterday. And actually, it went into effect today. They announced it yesterday that everyone in the county should be sheltering in place. Now, am I breaking the rules by going out here and talking to you guys? Yes, I am. But I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to go into a store. I'm not going to do anything that's going to affect anybody else. Let's just put it that way. I'm going out for a ride. The only thing I'm going to be touching is my bike, and I will return. Now, some of you might be thinking, and I bet you there's quite a few of you thinking, you know, this is just going to blow over. This isn't a big deal. You might not even be following the instructions that have been given to you by your government, by your local authorities, by your county, by your city, by any of those things. You might just be saying to yourself, you know, this really doesn't affect me. But trust me when I say it does affect you, and it affects everybody. One of the things that I've been seeing going around on social media that's really encapsulates the way we should be approaching this isn't the fact that we shouldn't be reacting to this because we're afraid that we might contract the virus. We should be going about this in fear that we might give it to somebody else. Now, if you're under the age, I believe, of 21 or 18, it might be, younger people aren't getting it. So if you're one of those younger people, it still affects you, and it affects you greatly, because you could take it home unbeknownst without even getting it. You might just be carrying it on your hands because you've touched something that somebody that has been affected has touched, and then you're bringing it home. And you could be bringing it home to somebody who's more susceptible, to somebody who's higher risk. And that's really the danger of this. It isn't us who might feel like, or isn't those of us who might feel like that, like we can get around this, that even if we were to contract the virus, that we'll be okay, that we will survive it. Now, I wouldn't even bet against those odds. I know that right now the mortality rate is fluctuating because, you know, we don't have all of the information, and it's so hard, especially in the United States, how our reaction has been very, very poor to know how bad it is. We really can't know because we aren't being tested like we should. And I'm just going to put it this way. If I've got friends who have fevers and who are showing symptoms, who went to the doctor and the doctors are refusing to test. Now, that is just, to me, that's just insanity. That does not at all convey the situation that we're in. If you're showing symptoms, everyone should be tested. And, you know, in a lot of cases, people are getting tested in other countries that aren't showing symptoms at all. And it just kind of really frustrates me with what's going on. I don't want to turn this into a political argument, but I will just say that it is so frustrating to live in the United States right now, where we're kind of one of the worst countries and one of the worst responders to what's going on. Now, I didn't want to talk about this for too long, because what I wanted to talk about is kind of the way that it's affected me, and I really want to get your feedback. So before I get started, leave it in the comments. How has this whole situation affected you? Maybe it hasn't affected you at all. I know some people that I know work construction, and they're just going on with what they're doing. I know some other people who work in grocery stores who have to keep working. You know, the nursing field, basically anyone that's essential is still working. But a lot of us have been asked to either work from home, work remotely, or to just not come in. I know of people who have been let go from their jobs. So this is absolutely, if it's not affecting you directly, it has affected somebody that you know, likely. Okay, so how has this affected you? That's what I want to know first and foremost, because, you know, even though this is my channel, I run this channel as if I'm including all of you in the process, and I really want to know how you all are doing, how you're all holding up, how are you staying sane? Because if you're penned up inside, I know a lot of my friends who ride are out riding, because, like I said, if you're going out, you get on the bike, you don't stop except for gas, which, you know, that in and of itself could be troublesome. But you're just getting out there and then you're coming back. And we're lucky enough to have a hobby or something that we love to do that makes it so we can still do it. I know a lot of people who have hobbies like the gym, or even like golfing. Golf courses are closing out. A lot of these hobbies cannot continue to happen because places are just closed. Now you might think, as I'm riding around here, there's an awful lot of traffic, but this is like rush hour-ish traffic, so this is very light compared to what you might see on a typical rush hour. I mean, this line right here that I'm in would have been backed up to the top of that overpass there. I mean, it really does show how this is affecting our day-to-day lives here with what I'm doing. So let me talk to you really quickly about how this has affected my life. I made a big announcement a little while back that I had been cast in one of the most iconic, one of the most incredible roles that I could ever been cast in, which was Don Lockwood in Singing in the Rain. And although it is heartbreaking that our show will not go on as planned, I feel so lucky that my show has been postponed. Virtually everyone in our cast has said that they can participate in this show when it's supposed to be performed, and we're going to bump the date to September. I have had so many friends and family who bought tickets already, who are just going to get vouchers for the tickets when they go back on sale, when we decide when the show can go on. I also feel lucky enough to be part of a theater company that is going to probably be okay if we have to stay closed for a couple months, and that's something that not a lot of theater companies can do. A lot of theater companies, non-profit companies, are going to have a hard time getting through this whole thing because they're not getting the funds that they need to stay open, to keep their doors open. So I feel lucky enough to be a part of a company that will likely be able to stay open, and my show has not been canceled. It's merely been postponed. And again, is it heartbreaking that it's not going to go on as it was going, like it was supposed to? Yes, sure. And I was bummed out, but you know, it's okay. We're going to do the show. It's just not going to happen as I thought it was going to. And life is just being put on hold. So many things are being put on hold right now, and we just have to deal with it. Now, I want to address the fact that a lot of us feel bummed because plans have been canceled. I have a friend at work who was planning to take a trip the weekend that Disneyland closed. She had plans to do Disneyland, Universal Studios, and all those places closed the weekend she was supposed to go. And that's just devastating. You know, you make these plans, and if you haven't seen my video, I just went to Disneyland, and we just made it. We made it by a couple weeks because they closed down 2 weekends after we went. And we just feel so lucky that we got to go and nothing happened. We all stayed healthy. And because, you know, there was a possibility while at the park that we could have contracted the virus. So We feel really lucky, and some people aren't so lucky. So I wanted to address the fact that some people have had their life altered. You know, and they make these plans. I had another friend who was going to go on a Disney cruise who the cruise was canceled, which, I mean, obviously that's kind of an obvious one. But all of these things, these cancellations, it's just heartbreaking. And like I said, I know to an extent mine's getting postponed, so I'm lucky enough to still be able to do it. But a lot of people's plans have just been canceled, these trips that they've been planning for how long. Now, I want to say that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel heartbroken, to feel like these things have been stolen from you. It's okay. Some people might be saying, you know, people are dying all over the world, and you shouldn't be concerned about your plans. Don't listen to those people who are saying, you know, you can't feel disappointed or heartbroken. You're absolutely entitled to feel that way, and don't feel bad. But at the same time, you can feel empathy and you can feel sympathy for all of those people whose lives are being lost, who are being drastically affected. You know, it's okay for us to feel bad that our plans are getting canceled or postponed, even though there are people whose lives are being devastated and destroyed by this, and not to mention the ones that are being lost. So for the most part, I kind of just wanted to come on here today to give everybody who might be feeling a little bit down, who might be feeling, you know, who might be feeling even more than that, that it's okay. All these feelings are okay. This is just a really hard time. This is unprecedented. No one that's alive right now can really understand, well, I should say it, unless you lived in 1918 during the Spanish flu. You know, there are some terrible, terrible things that we could see before this is all over. I'm going to continue to try to post. I've been dark on social media and on YouTube since this started. Hopefully I can get this out tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Hopefully we can get this out by Friday. And I want to try and get content out to you. I could have made this video not on the bike and just talk to you guys face to face, but I kind of just wanted to stand with all of you guys that are out there riding, right? I stand with you guys who are out there, you know, trying to make the best of this. You know, right now in California we have some pretty decent weather, but not some people around the country, not only have they been trapped in their houses for all of winter, but now they're being forced to stay at home because of this. And it's just terrible. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna take a picture next to this mural that I've been wanting to. Hopefully we don't drop the bike because this is kind of gravelly. But guys, we're gonna stop the video here. I just want to let you guys know, don't feel alone in this. It's really hard with the social distancing, especially if you're a social person, to kind of just drop everything and not have that personal contact. It's especially like if you don't have a family or if you don't have a significant other that you live with, to feel alone. And really, in this time where we might feel so apart from everybody else and so lonely, know that you're not alone. But guys, that's all I got for you today. Make sure if you like this video, if you want to show support for myself or for anybody out there that's struggling, hit that like button down there. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you're out there riding, please be safe. Be safe either way, even if you're not riding. Stay healthy. Guys, I'm that one guy, and I am out.